anywhere in Upper Michigan. In fact, it's the biggest tractor parade in Oklahoma County. And I tell you, they've been doing this for 29 years, I was told. And some amazing pieces here. If you've been here the last couple days, you've seen some of them. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot of new ones here. And you're going to be excited to see all of what's available here. These are all owned by local farmers and collectors here in primarily northern Michigan. We're going to start in about 4 minutes. So the other that got over here, come make your way over. There's still plenty of room on the bleachers, although it's filling up right now. And if you got your own chair, you could probably find a place in the shade. And this is definitely a hot day, but don't curse the heat. It could be snowing next week. It is Michigan after all. Yeah. I understand that there's a parade tomorrow, also at 12 noon. So that's the only change is time on Sundays. And line up right here in front of the know-it-all shack. And Mrs. Know-it-all is in the truck right now in the first vehicle, getting ready to come through. Got another 3 minutes, so better hurry up. I see more people coming. This is a good sign. You know, when you realize the pioneers that helped make these tractors, some of them came from Michigan, like Henry Ford. Henry Ford was one of those that, yeah, everybody knows about the cars. But he raised on a farm himself, somebody who didn't really appreciate the back-breaking work. He thought there had to be a better way. He came up with the Ford tractor that was one of the top implements for decades. We're going to see some real antiques coming on through. Now, 2 more minutes, folks. Come on, grab a seat. Okay. Wait a minute, no. You got to work. Yeah, we got another minute yet, folks. Just enough breeze today to make it pleasant out here, even though it's probably about, 92 degrees? By the way, when you get done here, there's a bunch of vendors. You know, they've had a really poor week. We've had some poor turnout for Thursday and Friday. A lot of them haven't even made their lot rent yet. Come on over, check them out. There's some great things out there, a wonderful variety. It's more than just a flea market. In fact, if you think of it as a flea market, think of it as a market with no fleas. And now for our first one in the lineup today as our parade begins. We got an international, number 21, one-ton truck. It is 100 years old today, and it looks like brand new. This 1922, owned by Alan Philbrick of West Branch, and Alan Philbrick is also driving it. It's restored by Alan and Dale. And is that, let's see, Alan is driving. Is that your wife or your girlfriend? He says both. Well, I guess he gets dinner tonight. Thank you so much. Next one coming up is Ken Billingham over here. Now this is a homemade kit, but you know what? Homemade means well made. And then Ken here, he's made this horseless carriage, looks like a Ford. The year model is 2015, but it's more like about 1899. And it's a 12.5 horsepower, and it's Gladwin. He's the one that was the builder. He's the one that's driving it. He's got, are they his grandchildren? Pardon? Chloe, okay. What about these two back here? All right, he's got a whole bunch, including a dog. First of all, Ford tractors coming in with the American flag flying off the back. Oh, yeah. This one here is by Jacob Sylvester, who's the driver. A beautiful big hunting with a Ford 9N 1941, driven in memory of Harold Rosenbrock, his grandfather. Next one, 1950 John Deere. This one here is beautiful John Deere green with the yellow trim. It's a Model B from 1950 by Brian Belleville of Prescott, who's not only the owner, he's also the driver, sitting there high up in that driver's seat above those big tires. Another John Deere, but you know, sometimes the guy really, almost like carried away with that famous yellow on there, with that on the green. This was a 1959 John Deere 730 diesel electric start, owned and driven by Terry Hodges Jr. Boy, is that pretty one right here. Now, the one behind is another John Deere. Boy, is that thing stripped up. You saw it, 1948. But the big just like green is that sign up there, power takeoff on the side, and it's a John Deere Model A from 1948 with Terry Hodges III, both the owner and the driver from nowhere. Where else? West Branch, all right, thank you. You need to put down any play location. I don't know, he's moving around a lot or what these days. You know, Farmo was another great competitor. And that is a 1951 here from the Earthscape Canvas. The Farmall is driven by Papa, it says on there. And it is one of those that have a side saddle. Rather than be directly over, front back, it's off to the side. Beautiful. It's all big shines out here. Thank you so much. He's got a little American flag on the back. Okay, now the next one here. The 1938 F-14 Farmall. You know, you've heard of the F-14 fighter jets, well, this was the early version of it. It went to a fighter jet on the ground. All right, special features, wide tread front axle, shutters, fender, electric start at the back, and lights. Oh, we got lights, a big headlight in the front, generator and battery, front, same weight, highest overdrive, hydraulic power lift, rear wheel, weight, spoke to wheels, high-speed transmission, and a wide tread rear axle. I used to date one lady, I was very wide tread in the back too. Anyway, from Glenwood, Michigan, George Morrison and Bob Finling are the owners. All right. Okay, that's that one right there. That's this one. Okay, another Farmall, another great one there. This was a Farmall 1950 Model H. Its owner is Kevin Mayhew of Rose City, and driven by Dean Mayhew of Rose City. And its special features, third generation owner, crossed the bridge 4 times. We're talking about the Mackinac Bridge, not the bridge over the Augrey River. Next one here's flying proudly a full-size American flag. And it's a 1959 John Deere 530 haul. It is beautiful. And it is over here is brand new. This one here is 1959 over in came out of Minnesota. And now it's owned by Jack DeKeller out of Rose City, Michigan. He bought it in March of 2016. Also has a station of crossing the Mackinac Bridge. Now, you don't see many red Fords. It's true, I have a Ford Focus that's red, but doesn't quite qualify here. But this one here is a 1961 Ford. It's a Woodmaster 601. You know, I said, it's red. I said, unusual, but sure is beautiful. owned by Ralph Zilka of Rose City. The driver is Josh Smith of Camden, Michigan. Boy, you're from a long way from home. That's way down there by the Indiana border or the Ohio border. Boom. Yeah, I visited Camden once, I got lost. You wouldn't know it's following behind. You think it's other Ford, but it's a McCormick Hardball Cobb. Yes, this little baby tractor here, owned by Ralph Silka, and it's called a Cobb. 1953. It's pretty little now. It's a pretty little unit, just for for working around the farm. Just an ideal one. Who's driving it today? You're also Ralph. Okay, so Ralph is driving it. Did have a set there? Dave was the owner. And here we got another John Deere. This was a 1959 430W. And this one, of course, I remember you from yesterday. First bought by Charlie Zippo. I do Charlie over there in Pawnee, Michigan. Got sold to Mike Hard. I think my George was school with Mike. And then was finally purchased by Jack McKellar of Rose City in 2013. And it's also across the back of that bridge. Big flag flying off the back. Pretty unit. Now what do we got here? Looks like we got a woman driver up on top. This is what, granddaughter? All right. And I'm very pretty young lady driving, but she knows what she's doing. One of those good farm girls is a John Deere 1941 Model A, owned by William Durant from Nashville City. And the driver is a granddaughter, Emma. And it says about a tractor. It has an electric start, restored in 2003. And the tractor was used on deer camp to plant rye and haul wood for several years. Now it's just hauling right down here on the trail, going through here on the main course. Thank you so much. And thank you for teaching your granddaughter to drive a tractor. Another fun and informal. This one here is a 1949 Model H Thermal, Model C, got 18 horsepower, and a Ray Battalion of West Branch. It's both the owner and the driver. Who's with you in it there? Oh, and Dora. That's your daughter? Granddaughter's up there. I didn't think you looked old enough to have a grandchild. I think you started too early. Now we got another McCormick farm all over here. And this one's a Super 8 Super A from 1949 from Ted Bessick of Hope Lake. Is the owner was Keith Bessick. Okay, I'm just trying to read the writing on this one. And we got the Salty in the back. We got grandson Andrew Bosick. Bessick. They use those thick dry markers, hard to read them. This was a Ford, oh yeah, that's the one that's the light gray with the red trim. Rudy unit from 1952. It has a horsepower of 20, the old Model 8N. And Ted Bessick is an ex-sec of Houghton Lake. And he brought us to the Wellington Club. Thank you very much. And it's a pretty Ford. I say I like that one. The lady coming up there, gentleman coming up next. Sometimes hard to tell when they're wearing the hats there and all that. This one here is here by Jim Palmer. It's a John Deere 1950 Model A with 32 horsepower. This one's got, you can just hear that motor pulling, they're ready to go. They got an 80-acre field like nothing. Oh, I like a lot of colors. When old man Henry was alive, he was pretty much a plain old gray. But once he died, they started getting better colors. Because the kids, they like something to look better. This is a 1966 Ford 3000, owned by Terry McCulloch of Prescott. Has snow plow. I don't see it on the front. I see we have patch one with 8 speed. You should never take your snow plow off in Michigan because you never know what's going to snow. Thank you. Now this one is almost a white Ford with the red trim, and she's beautiful, kind of an off-white. And it's a 1947 Model 8N, horsepower 26, driven owned by Jim. Says buy it. I did okay. He said his head, oh yeah, that's fine. West Branch, beautiful piece. Next one now, I remember the Oliver. You know, you kind of first think it's a John Deere. But you got to remember, Oliver was green and white. Boy, they weren't something today because Oliver's not around. But the Model 77 from 1951, a 37 horsepower, owned and driven by David Burdine of West Branch. Now we got a Super Bee behind here. That's what's written on the side. Got to scroll down there. It's a co-op. I never heard of one of those. It's a Model 30 from 1949. Kind of looks like a farm all the way, but not. And it's owned by Dale Zimmerman, and Andrew Zimmerman is driving it. And who's the beautiful lady with you? Sister? What's sister's name? Emily. That is a West Branch. Thank you. Now this one is an oldie coming up here. And this one is a labor of love being restored. Oh yeah. 1938 John Deere D. In fact, it's so old it's not even green. And it's owned by Dale Zimmerman as the owner and Cole Zimmerman. Which one's Cole? All right. So are you Dale, father? Sorry. All right, what's your name? You're Dale too. Well, Dale owns him, but Dale Jr.'s driving next to his son driving it. That's a pretty one. Now we're back to the Nancy Harris. And that's a 1944 Model 101 Junior. And it's Dale Zimmerman, West Branch, and his driver is Sean and Benjamin. I get Sean and Benjamin up there. Gotta keep a watch on. We're driving on the fender. All right, thank you. We got a lot of new entries in today. That's why we got a beautiful young couple up here. This is Chalmers P, 1948. Another owned by Dale Zimmerman. This is his own museum out there. And he's got Amy and John. Now, are they sisters or just the boyfriend girlfriend? Boyfriend girlfriend? Oh, boyfriend girlfriend. People watch on the cornfield afterwards. So this is the big guy. All right, the next guy, you didn't hear me talk about Dale Zimmerman owns this. Dale Zimmerman owns that. Well, we got Dale Zimmerman right here. And he's got a 1945 Model A. He's got West Branch and who's with you on there? Oh, Olivia, this is your daughter? Granddaughter, okay. Yeah, Dale's got a lot of it. Antique tractors. Come and take a look at it afterwards. Now this one has been really restored, this John Deere. It is so shiny with that John Deere green. It's a 1937 John Deere Model T. And it's like where the driver sits on there, he hangs way over the back end, he falls off, he hits the ground with no problem. But it's owned by Ken Hitchford of Lake City. Okay, and driven by Ken. It's been restored beautifully. Now we got another fireball with that side saddle on it. That's the Cormac Farmall 1947 Model BM with Ken Pittsburgh of Lake City and Terry Stanfield of Farwell. He's driving that. We got another Ford coming up here. This one's that off-white with the red. That was very popular for a while. And this is a 1954 Model NAA Ford owned by Richard Labonte of Ossity and Brandon Labonte of Spruce is the driver. I even know where Spruce is. Because there were quite a few times he was preached at the Methodist Church many times up there. So I do know that location. Now this older one coming up here is another Congress in love, and this is a this is a 1949 Oliver Model 77. And its owner is Dwight Parliament of West Branch, with Dwight driving it as well, 37 horsepower. Got another John Deere here. As I was telling the other day at the fall, almost all the tractors there, and it said the Himalayas are all John Deere. This one here is a John Deere 1941 Model B. And it's owned by Brendan Rex of West Branch. Now it says it's Brendan Rex driving, but who's really driving it? That's Brendan? What's your name? Okay, it's driving, I guess Brendan's going to tell her what to do. That's going to be interesting down the road here. It's got electric start with hydraulics. The other races are trying to keep up with the little bit when it comes to beautiful old tractors. And this one here is owned by Steve Reese of West Branch. The 1946 Model A is driving by Cannon Reese. And we have special plant doors, electric stairs, hydraulics, registered Iowa in 2005. Well, I can turn if I can get. Now we got this little one coming here. You know, we see some pretty good sized tractors, but those little ones here really is what made a difference a lot of times. A 1946 internal McCormick lowboy. And it's by Carl Center. We drive it out of Burton, Michigan, and it has a fast hitch to the plow. I don't see the plow, but I do see the hitch on it, and it shines up just pretty. Now that little farm McCormick here is followed by his bigger brother. This one's a McCormick Deering Farm Hall. It's a Model H 1940. With Terry Spencer of Vanderbilt is the owner, and Ken Spencer of West Branch, he's at the wheel. See that keep coming here, folks. We got a great lineup still coming for you.
Are they going to have one tomorrow?
This pretty little Ford here has got that real dark gray, that's what old Henry's day. All right, 1941, 9N. Monte Bidwell of Flailing is also the owner and driver. Special feature, it says old. Is that the driver or the tractor? Both, okay. It's a pretty tractor. It is really a credit to what Ford did. Thank you. Now we got another John Deere, a little bit different one over here. And this one is a 1950 Model M, owned by Lawrence Stevens. Stephen of Grayling, and driven also by Lawrence. And it's a different looking one. It's a smaller, nice tractor running just purring beautifully. And who's with you on there? Granddaughter what? Harley, okay. It's just like a rumble seat back there. And now we got also another 4 years driven by this gentleman. His name is Gage Meshew of Louisville, Finland. But the owner is Steve Kaufman. It's a 1940 Model 9N. And it's entirely gray. Why that thing is still into a dirty field, it probably camouflage. It's different coloring, doesn't have all the two tones, but it's been redone for price. Uh-oh. Now we got a real fancy McCormick farm hall, and it's going. We got trailer behind it. And this one here is a 1949 Model H, owned by Irvin Cole. It's an Irvin Cole of Gladwin, and a special feature auto cab made in Pender, Nebraska. One McCormick Deering wagon with a U2A power unit built May of 1953, a match. Now we got the big boy John Deere over here. That's a Diesel 2520 model, 1969. Have to climb up the steps to get in. Owned by Brian Belleville Prescott. Says here the driver is Nancy Prescott. I don't know if that's Nancy. I guess I must be voting with Washington, D.C. these days. Anyway, it's got rolled over 2 times. And the actual hours of the original owners. Are you Brian? All right, it's not Nancy on there at the paper. Says it's Brian. Thank you. This next one is a 1952 Minneapolis Marine. The only one in the plane is orange. And it's just a proud, I don't know all the details, but we got Patty Shaw. Who are you holding out there? Well, and Ralph's first birthday for the parade today. And all right, try to make a farmer out of him, which is a good thing for America's future. Trying to bring it up the rear. We've got another Ford over here. I don't know any details on it, but it's that lighter gray with a red trim, pulling a wagon with a dog and a man inside. Thank you for joining us today for this parade. Come on out, check out the vendors, and enjoy the fellowship we have here. Thank you, God bless.